What's up, guys and gals and gardeners of all ages? Another episode of my tiny garden. I just want to show you guys the progress that it's made, and I also want to go over, there was questions about planting tomatoes in a bucket or pot, or in a container, as it were. I have the answer for that. So anyways, I want to show you my garden real quick. I'm really impressed. I'm all excited. So I'm going to show you my garden. Cabbages are doing amazing. That little bell pepper is doing quite well. These radishes are ravishing. They're just getting just as big as can be. The cucumber, it's flourishing quite well, quite well. I also believe that there's another one coming up right there. So anyways, on to the broccoli. The broccoli is just coming along quite nicely. The hail did knock a few of them down, but I think they'll be okay. The carrots are coming along just fine. They're looking great, especially that one. I got them in some of them in little cages because we have rabbits running around here, and I'm trying to take care of those. We have no lettuce and no onions yet, but this potato is really coming along nicely. Love it. No others are coming up yet. And now for the tomatoes. That's one of them I had transplanted from over in the other row, and that's the other one I transplanted from the other row. This bad boy right here, he was the one that was between those two. I decided to leave him right where he was, and I guess I did the right thing by leaving him right where he was, because he looks great. He's really big. You can compare him to my hand here. You can see he's pretty good size. So he's pretty good size. He's coming along nicely. So anyways, I'm gonna go over the tips for tomatoes in a bucket or container. First of all, you kind of want to keep the soil moist and not wet. You want to make sure they get plenty of sunlight, about 6+ hours a day. You want to make sure you have a little bit of fertilizer in your potting soil if you're using potting soil, or even if you're just using dirt. You can use dirt, but make sure it's got some fertilizer in it. That way, you'll feed the plant. The plant still needs nourishment to actually grow. Now, when it comes down to it, if you're just going to leave it in the pot or transfer it to another pot, then you might want to go ahead and brace it up with something, just like you would if it was in a garden, because as they get big, they try to lean over and stuff. And it's okay to let them just flop, because it'll still grow fruit and it'll still produce delicious tomatoes. You just have to be a little more careful with them. But anyways, if you transfer them to the dirt, to an actual little garden or something, or in the ground somewhere, you'll want to kind of make sure that you plant them kind of deep. When you transplant them into the ground, you'll want to transplant them a little bit deep, because for some reason tomatoes like to be deep. Don't know why. But anyways, as far as growing them in buckets, it's kind of simple. As long as you feed the thing, you feed the tomato, you water it. Not too much water, because you just want it moist, not wet or damp, as it were. And then make sure they get plenty of sunlight. Sunlight will make them flourish. So anyways, the reason some people do them in buckets is because they live in a place where they can't have a garden. You know, some people live in like trailer courts or apartment buildings or something, so they'll do them in buckets in their house by a window seal or something. Just make sure they're getting plenty of sunlight, you know. I mean, that right there is half the battle. Sunlight, you know, 6+ hours a day, and they should be fine. You know, if you're, I know that, you know, I've lived in some places where you couldn't have a garden. They didn't want you even growing any vegetables in the yard. But anyways, as far as this episode goes, I believe that's all I got for you right now. I appreciate you guys watching. Have a spectacular day or night, whichever one it is for you.